I wanted to start filming myself as I work with one of my horses, Atlas. He is a 21-year-old grade gelding, potentially be a quarter horse. That is what he most likely is. However, some people think he has other things in him. It doesn't really matter to me. He needs more consistency. And I have had some issues with pushiness with him. He's pretty dominant. And I just struggled with staying consistent with him. So I had a friend give me some tips, and I'm going to start working with him more consistently if I can, and hopefully I can start getting better with groundwork. So a little bit about my background. I come from many years of being a hunter jumper rider. I did a lot of equitation, and that's kind of where my high school and college careers took me. In high school I did IEA, which is the Interscholastic Equestrian Association, and also did IHSA in college, which is the International Horse Show Association, and I actually did do Western in college. I did reining, which was a ton of fun, but my love lies in English and in jumping. But again, my background is mostly equitation, and I never had my own horse. I grew up riding lesson horses, I leased horses, but I didn't spend a lot of time working on the ground with the horses. But like, there was always other people working with me. And this is the first time I've been by myself working with some horses, and I don't know any background on these guys. Atlas and I are going to start on some groundwork, and this is not a how-to video because I'm learning as I go along. But I'm excited. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so in the beginning you'll see Atlas and I kind of struggle a little bit. He's not listening to me fully. This was the first day I worked with him after my friend had come out. She was there the day before this and gave us some tips. Basically the biggest thing was to be a bit more aggressive with him when he would be a little hesitant to go forward, just to be really strict and let him know what I want. So you'll see as we kind of work through this how he starts out kind of just like, do we really have to listen to her? And like right here, we're trying to turn, and I was struggling to ask, and we always have trouble turning to the right. But B, he's just kind of like, do I have to listen? So it's a bit of me figuring out how to ask him and be consistent in the way that I ask. Excuse my dog barking. That's the one you can see in the picture. He's a bit noisy. But the one thing that I really like about Atlas is he often keeps his inside ear on you. He does listen and is paying attention to you. He will test you a bit. And if he's not sure what you're asking, obviously he's not going to do it. My other horse, BB-8, tries really hard, whereas Atlas, he's not going to try if he doesn't understand. And you'll hear a bunch of road noise. We are right by a highway, but both of my horses are not bothered by the road at all. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to have the audio in there, so you may not hear all the road noise. Ooh, this is bad. So one thing I realized that I was not doing correctly, that I ended up fixing later on, is instead of just kind of like lowering my body language, I needed to take a step back a little bit to get him to kind of do that pull in towards you and then ask for the turnaround. So again, I wasn't doing it here either. And then I think later on you'll see I start taking a little bit of a step back, so he'll come towards me and then I ask him to turn. And this again, it's going to take me a minute to get him trotting because he doesn't think I mean business yet. So this is kind of amazing that he's trotting around like this for me, because previously, before my friend came out, I could never keep him trotting. He would take a couple of trot steps and then he would stop. And I felt like I constantly had to nag him to keep going. So that was something that my friend helped me with, was asking him to trot, and if he didn't keep trotting, immediately, there you go after him with the lunge whip. Actually, that's a stock pole. It's not a lunge whip. It's a bit shorter. And he's also really bad about when you ask him to go down to a walk, he'll stop and turn to you. So you'll often hear me tell him to walk on, just trying to keep him moving and understanding that just because I'm asking you to slow down does not mean we're stopping. And again, it takes me a while to get him to get going, but I try to use my voice to ask him to move first. I put my hand up to indicate I want him to move his energy up, and then I come at with the lunge whip. And my friend who helped me out is a Clinton Anderson follower, but there's lots of other natural horsemen kind of people who employ the same message, or the same methods, not message, methods. If you see there, I took that step back first, and then I got him to turn. He's not going, then I use the whip. So I wish I would have had some before video of when I was working him on a lunge so that you could see how he changed. Because previously, or not how he changed, how I changed. Previously, I would ask for a trot and I would just continuously be saying trot and be like, just nagging him to keep him going. And I never really had training on how to lunge a horse. I learned how to lunge a horse, very basics, on horses that already knew what they were doing and horses that went around pretty easily on a lunge line. And I never had lazy horses on a lunge line. I'd only worked with horses that you were working harder to get them to stop than to go. So this was a big difference for me. And I guess I felt like I had to keep getting after him to make him go, which that obviously is not the case. So again, you can see how his inside ear stays on me the whole time. And I wish you guys could have seen that transition there. That was a really good one. So here I put in some clips of us working over some trot poles, and the first and last one, those are actually my jump standards on their sides. So you'll notice I hold my hand up quite a bit through this part, and I need to get a bit better about that, but I kept putting it up to try not to hit my jump standards. And yeah, I got a little ahead of him right there, so he was a little confused. But yeah, I kept holding my hand up to try not to hit my jump standards. This is one reason why I'm filming though, so I can see these things and work on it for next time. But we just did a little bit over the poles here, just to add a little something different into our workout. He hit every pole right there too. He's very lazy to walk, but when he trots, he actually trots very nicely over them. So after the poles, we went back out to go work some more on our transitions, and he had a much better trot transition there. Much better turn. So you can see after a bit of work, we're getting the hang of each other a little bit better. And also started working towards the canter here. A little slow to pick it up there. There was a little bit of canter from him, which he's never cantered before on here, so I was just happy with a few steps. Nice turn. Very quick to pick up the trot there. And then again, a little bit of canter.
There we go. A little bit of canter on that side. So after this, we just worked on our walk trot transitions, turning a little bit more, lots of walk and turning to cool down. So I didn't film an outro, but thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.